Do you keep a journal? Austin here with Hope to Cope, checking in today to remind you that you're a miracle and you have a purpose. And there was something that came up on one of my social media feeds today that was a video that I put out 3 years ago that I watched, and it reminded me of some lessons that I've learned. And so there's lots of different ways to record your thoughts. You could use video, you could use blogs, you can type it down on the computer, you can use an actual paper journal. But it's important for you to actually document your thoughts and the lessons you're learning so that you can actually go back and remember them. Because it's fascinating to see some of the lessons that I've learned a few years ago and how I'm relearning them again today, but in different levels. And in some ways, I've actually kind of forgotten some of the lessons that I had. And so as humans, we forget really easily. And so one of the most important words in our language is remember. Remember the lessons that you learn. Remember the growth that you've made. Remember that you are a miracle and that you have a purpose, because there's low days and there's high days. And we just keep going day after day. We just keep moving forward, and it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget the lessons that we learn. It's easy to forget our value. It's easy to forget that we matter. And so that's why I'm here every day at Hope to Cope, to remind you that you are a miracle, that you have a purpose, and that this life is worth living, that there are valuable lessons that you are learning today, that you are being invited to learn. And as you learn those lessons, you get to graduate and advance forward in life. And so this video that came up on my feed from 3 years ago, I was talking about my baby, Gabriel, who had just been born. He was about a month old. And I was talking about how he had been crying for food. And I had to get some frozen milk and thaw it out and get the bottle ready. But this whole time he was crying, and it didn't matter how hard he cried or how much he cried, there was still a delay in getting the food ready for him. And so I was working on it. And so that's a reminder, that lesson is, sometimes we want something, we're working towards it, but there's a delay as it's being prepared for us to receive it. The other thing is he stayed focused on what he wanted, and he cried until he got what he was wanting. That's another valuable lesson for us. And so for you, what is it that you want? And are you willing to cry until you get it? Are you willing to put in the time and the effort it takes? Are you willing to visualize it and hold it mentally until you manifest it and receive it in your world? So remember the lessons that you are learning, write them down, and stay focused on what you want. Surround yourself with pictures, images, and people who can help guide you and remind you of what's most important for you. You are a miracle. You have a purpose. And just as a side note, as we're wrapping this up, it's amazing how often, you hear my goats. I come out here to do this video and they just start screaming, right? And they've been fed. We feed them, I promise you. So they've been fed, but they cry. And then I come to try to do these videos as well. And then my other kids, they start doing stuff and get into dirt or messes or whatever it is that's going on. And so there's always some kind of obstacle to coming out here and doing this video with you and to remind you. So I think that also, shares the importance of these messages, because if there's not obstacles, if it's not difficult, then sometimes it doesn't matter as much to us. Those things that we have to work towards are those things that really matter. And there's opposition as we move forward in greatness and as we're stepping into our purpose. And so as I do these videos and as I'm growing, I'm faced with my own inner demons. I'm faced with outside obstacles and things that pop up. But I have made a commitment to be here every day. And so here I am, goats crying, kids playing in the mud, whatever it is. I'm here for these few minutes every day to connect with you, to remind you that you're a miracle, that you have a purpose, and to give you a little bit of hope to help you cope with whatever it is that you're going through. So thank you for being you. I see you. I'm here for you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.